But so the book that I'm going to share the information is from Enoch to the Dead Sea Scrolls. So, and of course it is written by him. And it was just fascinating to look at the different, not just in time, how people would follow and what they would follow and whom they would follow. But in a lot of different, whether, would it be Asia, Europe, Middle East, all of them, it seemed that they had a very common thread. And obviously he was also very, very fascinated with the Essenes. So that's why he did a tremendous amount of research, and he wrote many books, and he had access to the actual scrolls, some from the Vatican, some, just from the Middle East. So I'm going to just read here and there of how the Essenes lived. And what fascinated me as I was reading it, it was that we are in many ways, and we can live our days the same as they did, with purity, simplicity, and of course, in this amazing age of computers, it is, I know, a little bit challenging, but I am not quite sure. The computer definitely, okay, so it must be fine. Okay, it just said something about the recording. I apologize. It's not, actually, I'm not surprised. Technology and I not always work well together. So I blow out in my house many times. Computers will, go down, printers and so forth. I did tell the divine, please don't blow out my TV. So I'm not surprised. But the higher the vibration is, and the difference between electronics and obviously the living light, I call it the living light because it is living. They don't always communicate well with each other. So, so I'm going to read just a little bit from his chapters. And so the traces of the teaching appeared in almost every country and religion. Its fundamental principles were taught in ancient Persia, Egypt, India, Tibet, China, Palestine, Greece, and many other countries. But it has been transmitted in its most pure form by the Essenes, which during the last 2 or 3 centuries BC and the 1st century of the Christian era at the Dead Sea in Palestine and at Lake Mareotis in Egypt. Forgive me those who, if I mispronounce it. In Palestine and Syria, the members of the Brotherhood were known as Essenes, and in Egypt as Therapeuta, or healers. And then the esoteric part of their teachings is given in the Tree of Life, the communions, and the sevenfold peace. So they had a very unique way how they would actually integrate in their everyday life the teachings. And the origin of the Brotherhood is said to be unknown, and the derivation of the name is uncertain. Some believe it came from Esnach or Enoch. So in Egypt, they would, translate the name a little bit differently, and claim him to be their founder, their communion with the angelic world having first been given to him. Others consider the name came from Israel, the elect of the people to whom Moses brought forth the communions at Mount Sinai, where they were revealed to him by the angelic world. So they had in different parts of the world, believing either it was, coming from Enoch, since he was obviously, always going into the heaven multiple times and coming back and bringing back information. And then, or it, it was through Moses. And then, of course, these teachings have been all across the world, except because they were sacred teachings. It especially was not looked up on well by, I'm going to say, more of the Christians or the Catholic church. And it was primarily because they wanted to have a certain control over what they wanted people to have knowledge about. And this was very, very prominent, even when I grew up. Like usually the priest will only speak in Latin. Now, thank God, I spoke Latin, so I still could understand what was, what was said. But way back in time, people didn't speak Latin. So they would, just speak their native language in the part of the world they were. But Latin was kept to be like, the language only for the, I'm going to say, the elite, or, and however, the Essenes, they were able to not only receive the information, but they also understood that not everybody can understand the information. So they decided to have kind of like their own, I'm not going to say disciples, but I think that's the best word I can use for that. They would actually share the true knowledge that they have acquired. And, to the others, they would, speak in parables, just like Christ. And so they would be asked, well, the Christian church decided that, they're heretics, they are everything that you can think of, because it did not align with their teachings. So they had a very unique way of looking at everything, living the everyday life, all the way to, the teachings that they were doing. So they were actually very well trained in agriculture and arboriculturism. So they were very, very good, even in a place where it was desert, to be able to grow amazing variety of fruits and everything else. So they also had a very simple way of eating, dressing. So they would be primarily dressed in white, and this will be a small assumption on my part, but I would say that being in a hot weather, a desert-like weather, more likely white and linen would be something that would be a little bit more cooling, for them as well. So they really were, very, very simple. As far as the other studies that they were very, very good in, it was in ancient writing and special branches of learning, such as education, healing, and astronomy. They were said to be the heirs of Chaldean and Persian astronomy and Egyptian arts of healing. So they were pretty diverse, even, in their time. They were entirely vegetarian in their eating and never touched flesh food nor fermented liquids. For them, the Sabbath, or the holy day, began on Friday evening, which would be considered the first day of their week. And actually which is amazing, because they knew how to utilize the energies between the physical realm and the unseen realm, the more divine realm. They have all these principles about morning and evening prayers, and then they would use literally both aspects of the body, and they had a very unique way of seeing it. So to them, the tree of life, it was seen as the upper part. So if you're in the middle of it, the upper part would be relating to the divine part, and then your lower part of the body would be directly to the human aspect, meaning to the earthly. And so they were able to literally assimilate the energies from the planets, and then also the universe, the solar system, the sun. So they were actually very, very brilliant how they were able to connect the entire system, the entire chakra system, to, as above, so below. And due to that, they actually lived to about 120 years as an average, which is like, wow, that's pretty good. And then they sent out, and so they were very good healers, and they sent out healers and teachers from the Brotherhood, and amongst whom were Elijah, John the Baptist, John the Beloved, and the great Essene Master Jesus. So they definitely figured something out along the way. And so I was like, that's what we are working on now. We are trying actually to, technically be whole again, and follow, our divine inner voice that connects us to everything. And of course, we still have to function in our 3D world, as well as we also have to be able to function from the upper worlds. And so I thought, okay, I see what's going on in this book. They called actually that the one law. So they realized and they figured out that these teachings that they have come to actually be enlightened with and live by, they figured out that as long we are in harmony and connected with everything within ourselves, that actually you can have a very prosperous life, a happy life. And in other words, you don't have to be sick, you don't have to be broke, you don't have to be any of that. But it requires to have a conscious awareness of everything that you do, including actually how you speak, what you think, and definitely what you do. So as simple as it sounds, I know it's not that easy. So the one law, the teachings which Moses brought forth at Mount Sinai were practiced 1,500 years later by the Essene Brotherhoods in Palestine and Egypt. Moses was the giver of the law, the one law. He established the monotheism that was to become not only the fundamental tenet of the Essene Brotherhoods, but of all Western civilization. And of course, as we know, Moses had spent 3 different segments of his life. The first 40 years, I should say. Actually, before I go there, let me actually read this to us. So the 3 periods symbolic is in every person's life, is the first period of 40 years, during which, in this case, Moses lived as a prince of Egypt. He followed the path of tradition, acquiring all the education and knowledge available. He studied the rituals of Isis, Amun-Ra, and Osiris, the precepts of Ptah-Hotep, the Egyptian Book of the Dead, and traditions that came from the east to Egypt, the cultural center of the world at that time. In the second period of his life, he spent 40 years in the desert, following the path of nature, studying the book of nature, as have many others great geniuses and prophets, including Jesus. In the huge vastness of the desert, with their solitude and silence, great inner truth have been brought forth. In this period of his life, Moses discovered the one law, the totality of all laws. So when he went technically in silence, it was when all this inner knowledge came forth for him. Um, and interestingly, and this was obviously, this book was written way, way back in the early 1900s by this gentleman. But they have used certain words even then that very much resonates with today. And so in this case, or Moses would observe that man lives in a dynamic, constantly changing universe. Plants and animals grow and disappear, moon wax and wane. There is no static point in nature or man. And then he saw that the law manifests in perpetual change, and that behind the change is a plan of cosmic order on a vast scale. And we do know that definitely we are connected with everything. Except, if you don't see it with our eyes, we may think that that's not true, but it's very true. And then the Essenes actually, the sum total of life on all the planets in the universe was called by the Essene the cosmic ocean of life. So how beautiful is this? Like, you think, it's like, wow. It's like, cosmic ocean of life. I'm like, beautiful. And then the sum total of currents of thought in the universe was called the cosmic ocean of thought, or cosmic consciousness in more modern terminology. And we do know definitely that everything we do, we think, actually it's registered in a layer of consciousness besides the Akashic record that we do have with our, individual each life. But I thought it was very interesting how Moses was able to perceive this from a very large perspective. So that was very, very kind of like nice. See, and then the last period of his life, of Moses' life, the Exodus began when he determined to dedicate the remainder of his days to the realization and application of the law, and to bring mankind into harmony with it. So, and of course, by that time he was probably, 80 when he went for the final 40 years. And but he did realize that it has to be put in practice, everything that he has, learned and wanting to share that with humanity. But the only other thing, it's so much to share, but what I will share is that what was very interesting is that the way they would have everything connected between the universe, the stars, the angels, and then our planet, and then ourselves. And so they would have a whole every day, morning and evening, where they would have a prayer, and then they would pray specifically to a specific angel. And that angel, they would ask that angel to help them with whatever, whether it's, physically with a part of their body that needed help with, or to commune with the divine. And so their teachings were very rigorous, very, very, if someone wanted to learn the teachings, they had to go through, like, I think a sum of maybe 10 years before they were able to actually, or before the brotherhood would give the teachings, the sacred teachings, to the person. So they wanted to make sure that they were committed to, that life. And so, but I thought was very, very fascinating And so I'm not gonna read anymore, but I'm just gonna give you the little things that they would do, like in the morning communion. They would have the earthly mother, that would be on a Saturday morning. And then, so the purpose of the communion was to establish unity between man's physical organism and the nutritive forces of the earth. So they would literally ask, how they can nourish their body better, and then take, from the life plant form, anything, the nutrients into their cells. So they would not need as much food, or they would not need, because they would be sustained at the maximum potentiality. But they would have, for Sunday, or, every day they would have that day and morning. So, but I just wanted to, kind of share a little bit of that. And primarily is because I feel that in today's day, we are in every shape, way, and form doing onto us also, where we no longer follow a healthy, even though when we try, we say, oh, I'm gonna lose 10 pounds and I'm gonna eat only this and I'm going to do that. Even with the best intention, it is, unless you grow your own everything in the garden, the food, unfortunately, it doesn't have the same nutrients anymore. So it's a little bit harder to nourish the body with the purity that originally we were meant and are meant to still have today. So it's a little bit harder in that respect. And but never give up, it's like, and also for our spiritual attunement and growth, it is important to have, at least in some form, whether you designate maybe a day, but not the whole day if you can't, but even an hour, and just consciously say, this I do for, my body, and also for my spiritual body. And by, just thinking consciously and having that statement for your own self, you're lining up yourself with your higher self, and also with the universe. The universe is always hearing you. It's always here because it's within you. So it's not, I mean, yes, we can also, think of it as, it's outside, but no, it's inside. So with that said, they have prepared a very, very beautiful meditation for us. So I'm sure everybody was hoping that, I'll stop talking about the scenes and do that. So I am going to move into that. If you want to just take 1 second before I position everything, the computer onto, I'm going to actually have to sit for that because I'm energetic. I'm going to be holding all of us in the same beautiful sacred space. So just give me 1 second to get there. And my Susan will help you with that. Hold that a little bit since I sat down. We'll reset it in a second. In case if you're feeling, as I was talking about all sorts of stuff. those who are sensitive, I know that, oh, actually, I think it's this. Yes, please. Thank you, Susan. It's cold. It's good. No worries. So I have given to all of us another piece of paper that is the pillar of light protection. Try to share that with Zoom. If I share again, will it knock me out? No. No? Okay. Because I think that's what it did when I did share. Okay. All right, so I apologize in case if anybody hears me on Zoom. If you can't see me, at least you can hear me. So what I would like for us to do is to
Sorry. It's just funny.
um, I know we have to have a little bit of fun and do not go to thoughts that you're not supposed to. All right. So usually we do have this prayer here at the center and we use it often within our different days of service. And so I figured this will just give us a second layer of protection before we go into the meditation itself. So I'm going to start and then you can, read it with me. There's the pillar of light protection. I call on the I am presence of God to surround me with a tube of dazzling white light substance, like sun glistening snow, pouring down around me as a circular wall of light. This light essence is constantly pouring like Niagara Falls. I also call on beloved Lord Gautama to surround me light with your circle of blue flame for any added protection which may be required. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Invoking the law of forgiveness. Beloved presence of God, I am in me. I am the ascended Master's law of forgiveness and transmuting flame of all the mistakes I have ever made and those of all mankind, as well as those of the elemental kingdom. Transmute this misqualified energy into the light of God that never fails. Illumine our minds and feelings and see that neither I nor any of the rest of life ever make the same mistakes again. Transmuting violet flame invocation. Magic I am presence, blaze through and around me the transmuting violet flame, thy sacred fire. Purify and transmute now all impure desires, hard feelings, wrong concepts, imperfect etheric records, causes, cores, effects, and memories known or hidden. Keep this flame sustained and all powerfully active. Replace all by pure substance, power of accomplishment, and the divine plan fulfilled. After violet flame invocation, beloved Lord Gautama, Archangel Michael, and Ascended Master Jesus, charge into this violet flame your purifying, dissolving power of divine love in its most powerful dynamic activity. Let the powers of light descend into earth and take full command. In the name of the cosmic I Am Presence, to all that is not of the light we say, you have no power, your end has come. In the name of the cosmic I Am Presence, for all humanity, we now consciously give the authority for the earth to the ascended masters and cosmic beings to bring into manifestation the divine plan fulfilled. Ascension decree. My magic I Am Presence, you direct my activity, world, and affairs, and take full command of me. Guide, protect, and illumine me every step of the way, and see that I render the greatest service possible. See in your wisdom that I make the ascension at the close of this embodiment. I am the ascension manifesting. I thank you, beloved I Am. Five. All right, so let's take just a couple of deep breaths. Close your eyes and just kind of shed the week off, everything that has been kind of on your mind and thinking of. Invite your angels to accompany individually each of you on this amazing journey that you are about to take. If you see a whole football field of angels that you have behind you, the better. Still take another breath or two just as they come into your presence, that the energies between you and them are starting to flow as one. They are actually taking us on a walk. They hold our hands and we hold theirs. We are walking on a beautiful meadow filled with wildflowers. The scent of the flowers are sweet. The colors are amazingly sharp, bright. In the distance, we are seeing a mountain side. We keep walking with our angels towards the mountain. We start to hear a waterfall from the distance. As we approach it closer, we look at its magnificent size. It's dropping from above hundreds of feet down. The closer we get, we start to feel the mist splashing on our faces. The water is very refreshing. As we look closer, we see behind it an entrance to a cave. We walk inside. Natural sunlight is still sparkling off the water that is trickling on the floor of the cave. As we go a little bit deeper inside, we stop for a moment and place our hands in the water and touch our face, letting the water purify us. Our angels guide us inside this second entryway. We are amazed by the beauty of this amazing crystalline room. Inside, our high-ranking archangel waiting on our arrival. They guide us to choose a crystal bed to lie in comfortably. They are there to aid us in our healing and upgrade process. As we are laying in there, we are becoming aware that our bodies are being energetically charged. And we become aware that our chakra system within our 3D body, it is being fully replenished. We see all the colors from the root chakra all the way above our crown chakra. First, individually, being renewed, cleared, and upgraded. And we see the colors as pure and beautiful as you can only imagine, as crystals and their colors, precious stones would be. For our root chakra, we would have the most magnificent ruby red. For our second one, we would have an amazing orange. The third would be filled with the most beautiful golden yellow sun rays. The fourth with the most beautiful emerald green. The fifth with royal blue. The sixth with purple. And the seventh filled with the most high with diamond light, white. And then it keeps continuing higher and higher. Our upper chakra systems also above us, above our crown, are being fully replenished and connected into our physical chakras as well. The crystals are changing our frequencies to be lined with and function from the higher dimensional realities in conjunction with our present world. This union of our chakras, as above, so below, utilizes our full spectrum of the rainbow colors within each of our chakras. It ignites every color within our system. This allows for a clear awareness and connects us with our soul star, stellar gateway, and earth star chakra beneath our feet, as Metatron would say. Allow for the energies to permeate every part, every cell, every inch of the body. It is helping to change vibrationally the physical body from our carbon-based more into a crystalline based chakra system that also allows our physical body to receive more information as we need it, and clear information as we need it. It helps to heal our organs, our system inside, as well as our other mental, emotional bodies, spiritual bodies. And we bask in this light just a little bit longer. Feeling it is taking place, multiple levels, multiple layers of our systems. As much as we could stay here for days, slowly it is time for us to become more aware of our body. Kind of move a little bit more into the physical body from the crystalline body ourselves. Give it a second for the shift. Our angels slowly help us to get from the crystal beds up and start showing us the path to get back to the meadow filled with lots of flowers. Before we step out from this amazing place, gems, crystals of every color, the highest vibration, we turn back and say thanks to the archangels for allowing us to be with them in this special place and for helping us in our bodies. Our personal angels also say goodbye to them, and we are all walking outside towards the meadow. We are still going through the little water creek that as we came in, we go out the same way. We stop one more time and we put our hands again in the cold water for the purification. We thank the water. We thank Mother Earth for its beauty and for the water of life that we were also touched by. We step outside of the cave. We feel again the waterfall mist on our face. At this time, we will also say our goodbyes to our personal guardian angels for their support and help. We are starting to take our journey back into the physical body more and more as we take step by step. We start to be aware of our senses and extremities, our feet and hands. At this time, we take a couple of deep breaths. On the count of 3, we are fully back in our bodies, fully rejuvenated and restored, and fully awake. 1, 2, take a deep breath. 3, start moving your hands and feet. Let the blood flow. Back.
Wasn't easy.
I know. For some of you, it's not easy to come back. I'm like, come on, people, come on back. Come on back, my children. Come on back. I'm just gonna let I can't even speak at the moment. The vibrations to run for another 30 seconds, so it's not abrupt coming back from there. Some of you may feel tingling all over. Some of you may feel don't want to do anything. But your bodies should feel very, very fresh and recharged. So you may have a lot of energy. Don't blame me. Blame the angels. I'm just the facilitator to bring it. And then for those of you who will have a lot of energetic shifts within your body, if you feel you need to rest, then do that. In other words, don't do nothing, just rest. Rest for a minute a day or a week, depending on how your body feels. But I want to thank you all of you for being here, participating. Thank you for being so kind and showing up and letting me to kind of go through trying to figure out what's happening here, especially with technology. And I believe Susan was correct. When I do these kind of meditations and live transmissions, I'm never able to have it recorded. The divine will actually knock out the system, which they have done twice, I believe, today. So that's why, we were trying, and I do have to apologize for everybody who was online. But you know, it is what it is. I can't fight, against the divine. So I appreciate you being in person so you can have, you could have the, wow. Okay. Is everybody in their body? Everybody feels okay? Kind of. It's okay to sit another moment. You don't have to. I mean, I'm very slowly, kind of shutting down the energies. Otherwise, we'll be sitting here forever. We won't go. I always thank, of course, the divine for its presence, uh, all the angels that are here to um, make sure that we are safe, that we have this opportunity, that our bodies safely can heal and can integrate with what is coming for us. And that's light, lots of it. So we have to slowly but surely allow the body to gently, raise the vibration of its cellular and at the DNA level as well. And all of that's taking place as we speak. And it will take place for some of us, probably for me, for my whole life. But I have learned very early in my life that my teachings that I have received straight from the divine since I was a very young child, that it will never stop. I thought, oh, only when I'll get to this age, I'll, no, it was twice as much, and then, quadrupled, and so they keep giving and giving. I call it the divine endless gifts that are coming, and I'm very grateful, very grateful. Sometimes it's hard to have a physical life when at night I am constantly traveling with the divine and I'm working full force on the other side, but yet I have to also work on this side, so it's not always easy. And I had to learn to keep the balance as best I could. And I keep learning on, about that. So I hope now everybody's back. I'm looking at everybody with their eyes. Back?
I'm just buzzing.
I know, but you're back.
Back.
Okay. All right. Just making sure. How is that special corner there? Good. Okay. Good. All right. My Karina is in a different universe. She's not back yet. You'll be go call home, Karina. I love them. Well, actually, I only have very few people that I have not really known closely for some time. So I'm I have seen all the faces, but I'm so grateful that you came. Thank you. And if you would like to give me any feedback or share anything, please feel free to do so. So you can say anything.
I usually am not so sensitive to the feeling energies. First time I'm sitting like in the pyramid since I sat here.
Yeah. I know, sorry. I mean, we can still.
Sorry, this is best feeling.
Oh, thank you. It's I never know. Well, it's not truly from the depth of my soul. They are using me. So I'm just happy to be able to, bring in the vibration or the frequencies that they are, they are doing, and it's not me. But thank you. I always appreciate if I have some feedback, only because I would not know how, your experiences have been in the past. So I thank you for that. Very, very special. And if anybody else wants to share, just because it helps, I think, sometimes others as well. to, if you have, but you don't have to, so don't feel like, you have to, but
I feel like I went away or I slept or something.
good.
Mhm.
That means that your body was healed at the utmost maximum level, and they took your brain out.
I
And
sure
so,
did.
and so, and I forgot to sometimes I do, but I was already altered when I sat down here because I was multitasking. My mouth was talking, but energetically, so much was happening behind the scenes. So, and I knew some people could tell. So, but often what happens, those who need deep healing, I just knock them out. They just go asleep, literally out. So sometimes I forget to tell people, make sure you sit firmly in your chair. So, but I had never had anybody actually fall off a chair, but thank God. But no, that's wonderful. You will have some amazing kind of knowingness within the next, couple of weeks, months, like your body will be definitely, you know, and the mind. And, it's like everything was kind of a little bit put back together, realigned a little bit. So thank you. Thank you for sharing that as well.
I like the information with the scrolls, some of the things that they were sharing. I can't remember now, but in the moment,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
come back later.
Yeah.
I was like picking up little things that were like relatable for me.
Yeah.
And like, even though it may have seemed simple, like they were like what you were saying, how it's a bit like they go back to the simplicity of the energy.
Exactly.
So like recalibrate here and some
Correct.
this
Correct.
to reflect that.
Yeah.
And I liked a lot what you were sharing. Even I could maybe not tell you now.
Yeah, no,
energy,
but that because it was the energy.
Hit somewhere.
Correct. Well, the information, I mean, obviously, as I was reading or talking, it was actually speaking also to our divine self that understands the simplicity.
Yeah.
Because I think that right now we are in a very complicated world. And so we are left, right, all over the place, and we just don't stop. And I think that's what I loved about, the message itself as well, that, we don't have to forget who we are. Like we can just simplify a little bit and then kind of, say, hey, it's okay to love nature. It's okay to love gardening. It's okay to enjoy and respect, like technically, God's creation, because it's in everything, even in this computer. Somebody came up with that. So even that, it is created. And of course, it takes a different, mindset to be in this, technological, advanced world. But back then they were able to, and even back then, I mean, if you think back of the Egyptians, I mean, oh my Lord, I mean, they've gone through, I mean, wars and this and that, and and they didn't have, a very peaceful and loving, time. But the Essenes somehow they were able to sustain and retain that purity. And then they just kind of lived outside of cities, so they were not in the crazy busy, place that the pharaohs and then, everybody else was. And I think because of that, they were able to stay connected. It's almost like I thought that I should compare them to the Aboriginals, but the further you are from society, maybe you have a chance to, kind of be able to go in that sense. And I think for us, the meditation, it is the only, at least what I found for me, and I can't speak for others, but what I found for me, like when I go in, and of course I have been doing this for a long time, like I go straight to source. And so it allows me to separate from this physical world that would be so busy in my mind. And then that is what it allows for the feeling that you said you felt, or because technically I took all of us in that kind of like, call it, 0 point, or whatever you want to call it. And so yourself can then connect, and then you can do what you need to do. And then so it just gives a little timeout. But thank you for that. Thank you. At least I know one person got something out of the scenes. Yeah, it was funny because, and I think the whole thing, it was all about the simplicity.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the whole thing about, and then the meditation was very, very unique. What they do, and I always, they always download the meditations. So if I do any meditations, they give me about usually 3 days prior, I would do it. And then they literally download everything. They take me through it. So I go through it, I see it, I feel it, everything. And then I come back and then I write it down. And then I can, share it. And then of course, when we do it together, it's even more powerful because it's, whole clan of energies. So.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. And thank you. How's Jill? Back? Good? Okay. Feeling better? Much better?
Much better.
Okay. You didn't look to me Happy to hear that. And you're very special. Please, please tell me your name.
Elizabeth.
Elizabeth. I love Elizabeth. I love Elizabeth. It's a beautiful name. It's a very powerful name. Thank you for being present. Like present. Yeah. Thank you for bringing her. Even though she didn't want to come.
I don't know if I didn't want to come. I've never done anything like this before, so.
Okay.
Maybe a little hesitant. but
Okay,
not
that's what I
like,
felt. I felt like a little, like I'm not sure.
Yeah,
That's what I felt. Like I'm not sure. Maybe it's not. I didn't want to come, but okay. So how was it for you then, since you have never done anything like this?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
she doesn't like to share.
Oh,
No, you're fine. It's not like it's issues. We're very
it's fine. I'm the same way. Very introvert.
familial, I guess, is
Yeah.
probably the term that I would use. We like to share amongst our family, but it's kind of.
Okay. Well,
I mean, I'm
family
more
like-
open. Yeah, I'm more open and
It's
like
fine,
you
it's
know.
okay. So good.
Well, I'll say, I have a hard time sitting still. And I feel pain most of the time when I have to sit and be quiet.
Yeah.
That's what I'm feeling right now.
Okay, all right. Well, hopefully, once you start moving, your body will kind of reshuffle a little bit, because the energies are actually definitely, you were all baited, with amazing array of light. So I'm hoping, my hope would be to help your body. So, and in case if it does, just let me know. That would be also a great feedback. So,
Can actually learn to clear the pain. I always, because I'm so rough on my body. And when I'm sitting and I'm feeling a lot of pain, I imagine a waterfall of like clearing and washing and diluting the pain. I say to myself, clearing. And it works. You can actually feel it get softer and softer and softer.
Oh, good.
It dilutes it out.
Yeah.
The light dilutes it out.
Yeah. It's
And
true,
then
the light will do.
clear.
Yeah. Sometimes what I do with that, and I do understand pain very well. And it's very hard for me also to stand or to sit for an extended time. So that's why, I was like shuffling myself from there to here. Sometimes what I do is, if I drink a glass of water, I literally see the water as totally taking the pain away. And the reason I do that with water, because I mean, just, water being as source of life. And it has many different meanings spiritually. So it's a nice way of what you take inside. It does kind of, help with that.
Is
Yes,
that water blessed?
yes, it is. So actually, if you would like, you could have a sip of water.
Water is important.
Yes. So actually, you can totally do that. That would be,
That was my
yes.
question.
Actually, you can just do that for everyone. How about that?
That would be great.
Yes, this one definitely is blessed. Now twice.
Water
Yesterday
carries
and
so much
today.
energy and memory.
Yes, it's
And
true. Yes,
Gaia. I mean, you take that
Yes.
in.
yes.
I'm sorry. I don't know.
No,
I
no,
didn't
no.
realize she
Go,
was
go.
starting. I thought,
Well, I
I
guess-
thought we all
I
had
guess-
to line up.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna,
I'll
it's
fill
easier
you.
for me just to
I'll
fill
just
do
it.
a couple of
Can you
There
distribute?
you go. You distribute and Susan.
Beautiful.
Perfect. What? Oh, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. So while we drink, I'm gonna say a few things actually that I need to say, and I almost forgot because I'm so altered. So for those of you who may be interested, we do have many things happening actually here, but our beautiful Reverend Nancy, she has on Wednesdays, the first and the third of the month, week of the month, or week, Wednesday, I'm sorry, see, I can't even think. Wednesday of the month from 7 to 8:30.
First and
She
second.
does spirit messages and channeling. So usually what she does, she just kind of, if it's, depending on how big the crew is, she'll just, pick, every person, and then she'll just give them a message from their, beloved one from the other side. So she does that on the first and the third Wednesdays of the month at 7 to 8:30. And then she also does on Mondays, she does a pranic healing, pranic healing. And that she does those actually from 1 to 5. So you can have private sessions with her. And of course, I know she does readings, of course, private readings and all of that. So that also is available with her anytime. And I know she can do, of course, the channeling, and you just make an appointment with her at any time of the week, and then she can do that on the phone with you, I guess, also. And then, but on Mondays, she's here. Now, something that's special is coming up for August. It's 8/8, the Lion's Gate energies for manifesting abundance. And so that is going to be on a Thursday, August the 8th at 7 p.m. and until 8:30 p.m. And then lastly, I also am here on Fridays, of course, by appointment for those who want to see me here. And I usually the person down in a sense, and so those can be removed as well. Oh, wonderful. So at least they can hear me. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Donna. She says, I can hear now. Still no picture. We apologize. Unfortunately, for some reason, the picture did not want to work for us, but thank you for at least letting us know that you can hear us. Yeah, and then she's just saying, so we're like here, thank you, it's wonderful. Well, thank you, appreciate you. All right. All right, good. And so I guess we'll,
Did you want to do something special for the water? Is it off?
so could we just say goodbye
Yes.
or, okay.
To everybody.
So I do thank everyone for attending and hope that even though we did not have the picture, you could at least hear everything. So I do appreciate everything. Thank you. And I am going to say goodbye. I know you can see me, but I am actually doing this. I'm saying hello and goodbye. So thank you and thank you.